today we're going to design all the sign up and the login screens for our project for the onboarding process. Quickly we're going to select the last frame, Alt key, then we drag it and make a duplicate, keep it somewhere around here. I'll take it up a bit. So there are two options here, sign up and sign in screen, right? So for the sign up screen, this is going to be multiple screen that will enable the user to input their details, that is their personal information, medical information, and password and username. Then here just give them the option for them to just input their username or email, then their password, they can sign up. So we're going to start with the sign in, then we'll follow up with the sign up screen, right? So quickly we're going to delete these two buttons here. Can Control key or Shift key to just select the two, then you delete it. Now here we'll change the text, welcome back. So it's going to be welcome back. There we Alt key, then please. Log into your account. Okay, so now here we select this and go and change it from our library to H1. Then we take it up. Then this is going to be our body text that is going to be here. Alright, then we take it up. Alright, then here the body text, you can detach it and change it to medium. Okay, so the next step is for us to go back to our buttons and include the form fields we want to add here. Alright, so now I'm going to, let's go to personal information, then we add instance and make sure this is inside the frame. So from the left panel here, we're going to change this to email. Okay, then we take our text tool and write email. So this is going to be the label and the placeholder here. So this placeholder will double tap and edit it to enter email. Alright, so select these two, align them to the left, and their vertical spacing to 10 as it is. Then you can now group them together, Ctrl G, and also put them into the center of the frame. Again, we're going to add another instance, personal information. Then we'll bring this down here, and this time we change it to password. Okay, that's not then. Let's go back to password. That's going to be under account information. So let's add this and bring it down and change it to password. Okay, then we take your text tool again and write password, and this also go above that. So now select these two again, align them to the left, and also the spacing here to 10, and group them together as well, Ctrl G. Okay, then here the placeholder will also change it to enter password. Okay, remember the placeholder, we have to reduce the opacity, and that should be applied to 50%. Similarly here, enter password, and the opacity should be down to 50%. Alright, so now select these two together and distribute their vertical spacing as well to say 20. All right, that's fine. So you can now align them to center of the frame and take them up a bit. Okay, next we'll need our checkbox. So we click on the checkbox, add instance, and bring our text box somewhere around here. Then we can take our scale tool and scale it down to 23 by 23 and put it somewhere around there. Then come back here and give it corner radius of 5. Okay, then we can also change the background fill to one of our global color. Let's change that to this. It's fine. Or better still, let's remove that and just give it the stroke so that it looks better. And the stroke should be the global color, right? And the thickness to 2. Alright, perfect. Okay, so here we're going to add text to that text box. That's going to be remember password. Okay, so we select the tool, that is the text box and the password, align them together, and we distribute the horizontal spacing. Then here the horizontal spacing, we can take it down to just 10 and group them together as well. Okay, now select the password and other field, align them to left, and their vertical spacing, you distribute them to even as well. Okay, so you maintain it to 20. Okay, and now you can select them all, group them together, then go back to your file and name this group as login form. Okay, so gradually we're going, but we're not done yet. So we select them together and take them up. Okay, this ones too, we're going to distribute the vertical spacing and take it down to 15. Okay, this way we'll take this one up and keep it there. We're going to touch the spacing as well, but let's finish with the other options. Okay, now we need another text here that will show the user to sign in with another option and also to proceed to the next screen if they don't have account created. All right, so let's quickly do that. So here we'll now include the button. Let's go back to our assets again, then we'll now add the button. All right, so this is going to be this, then we add instance and we bring it here and keep it there. Okay, then we'll just change the text to again. Okay, so select this and this and make sure the spacing is, let's distribute that and just give it to 30 this time, so that will be more space between the submit or login button and all that. Okay, so that's okay. Then moreover, in our password field, we're supposed to use the show high password field. This will enable the user to do that, but we're going to include that in the next screen when we are doing the error or the sample screen that will show maybe like the user have already imputed their names and all that. Okay, so we keep it there. Now we add another text that says or continue with, then we give option for social media and other option for them to sign in. Okay, so here we just give Facebook, Google and all that. Is that taken? Right, so let's go to our first icon and search for Google. So just add this into a frame. Now also search for Facebook. Can also add this. Okay. So now we're done with that. Let's zoom in a bit. I'm going to duplicate this text and just update it to Google. Okay. Now bring it here and take this like this. Select the two together and distribute their spacing here to 10. That's too much. Let's take it down to 5. Then group them together, Ctrl G, and also change the color of this Google to our global color, which is this. Alright, so similarly to that of Facebook, bring it here and also write Facebook. Okay, select the two and the spacing to 5 as well. Okay, take it down to 5. So now you can group them together as one. Excuse me. This. Okay, this is in that group, so that's why it's giving us issues. So let's ungroup it first and make sure it's in separate group with this. Alright, so then you take it down to 5 and first one align them properly. Then you select the Facebook and also change the color to our global color, which is this. So you can select both of them now, group them together, and group them together. Very certain. Let's select it again. Let's see if this text is within the frame. So it's there. So let's select the two again. 5 is perfect. Then Ctrl G. Select this, Ctrl G as well. Alright, so now we can select the two together, align them properly, then their spacing here, take it down to 14. Then we'll group them together and also put them into the center of the frame like this. Okay, so we are still going. Then the last part of the text, we're gonna have already not have an account yet, so it is going to be here. Not have an account yet. They will give option for them to sign up. Okay, now we take another text here that will say sign up. So this sign up part here is going to be the global color, so we change that to the global color. I choose something that is going to be more visible. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom out a bit so that we position this in such a way that the write-up will not be too down, and also distribute the spacing here perfectly. Okay, so here this is okay, so we can group them together and we go back to our file, make sure we are naming our groups properly. So you see logo and content. Okay, so we keep it there and take it up a bit. Can leave the y-axis to 207, it's fine. Then select these two together, and the vertical spacing here also reduce it. So let's take it down to, excuse me. So let's take the vertical spacing down to maybe 40 from 84. So Okay, let's stay too close. Let's bring it down to 50. Excuse me. Okay, 60 is fine, and align it properly. Okay, so now the sign up button too will be affected, so we have to bring it back to the same text. Okay, so align them and take them to the center of the frame. So here we take this up a bit, select the login button and this one to 13, this plus this to 30 as well, and this plus this to 30 as well. Okay, so now we select this and align it to the center of the frame. Make sure everything is into the center of the frame. So you do that manually, but make sure you maintain your spacing and all that center of the frame. As you can see, all content are within the grid layer, so make sure you maintain that. All right, and also have your back key here that will enable them to go back. Congratulations, we are done with the login screen. Now let's take a quick review and see the result of what we've done so far. So you should have something like this in your final result. All right, so now let's go to the next screen that will enable user to validate their username and all that. So if you check here, you can see the checkbox is working fine and all that. Okay, so now let's proceed to the next screen. So quickly we're going to duplicate this and bring it here and just change one or two things into the screen. Right, so this is the page where user have entered their details. Okay, so let's just enter a one-line email. So I'm going to use alex@gmail.com. okay, let's say here user have already entered their username. I just want to capture their password, right? So here I'm going to delete this password field, but before that, quickly I'll select it and ungroup them first. Okay, then I'll delete this password. Also ungroup this part, ungroup them, right click, then you select ungroup. Okay, then we'll also delete the password field and go back to our assets. Then we'll go to password. All right, so we are going to add instance. Okay, then we'll bring this hide and show password here, and we was also going to change the stroke color to the same color so that it will be uniform. All right, so now check this the password is done, and align them properly and maintain their spacing, that is the horizontal spacing, vertical spacing to the same distance. So you can see it's not working. It shows that this password field is not yet in the frame, so make sure it's inside the frame so that you'll be able to use that. If it's giving us issue, let's come here and let's rename this so that sign in content, or let's say sign in info. All right, let's go back to our files and add this password field. Where is it? This is it, right? And we're going to add it inside the sign up info. So just click here, drag it and put it inside the frame. So now it's within the frame. You can now select the password label, and that then you distribute their spacing to 10 and also improve them back. Ctrl G to group them back. Now you should have something like this. All right, so now let's edit that and group them back. Don't tamper with the spacing. Make sure the spacing is even as it was. All right, and make sure it within the frame. Okay, so now we have this, and This time we want to make sure maybe the checkbox is checked, so click here, also bring it back to the left. Now don't let it exceed here and keep it there. Okay, so we are done with this part. Next is going to be the password validation screen, right? So we're going to Alt key and duplicate this again, and here is going to be password validation, right? So to just show like a real-time application where it will say password incorrect and all that, right? You get it? So there, here in this screen, we're going to add an alert that would say password is incorrect. Okay, so quickly let's do that. So this will come under the password or under the form field. So now we're going to include that now, our validation point here. So let's just take this and this and bring it down a bit and just keep it there. Okay, so now let's take our text to, then we write here invalid password. Okay, this invalid password is gonna come here somewhere around there, and we're going to change this field to our global color, that is an alert, and we keep it there. All right, so now when the password is invalid, we expect this form field here, that here is stroke 2 should be an alert, so you change it to that. Is that taken? So you change the stroke to that. So that's what we need to do for this screen only. All right, so now quickly what I want you to do now, you can also create another validation screen where it will show maybe the user email or the username is incorrect. Is that taken? So so we're done with the sign in screen, and the next lecture we'll continue with the sign up screen. But quickly before we round up, now let's connect our prototype and see what we have done so far. All right, so here we'll go back to the last screen of the previous class and click on sign in. That will navigate back to our prototype. When user click on sign in, this should be prompted to this screen. Excuse me, Control Z. Sign in should come to the first screen, that is this. Connect it there. All right, so you leave it to on click. So there was 2 there, that is why it's showing 2 different listings. All right, let's go back and do that again. I'll go back, then I'll come here and click on sign in, then I'll add interaction to this screen. So to on click, it's seen on top, since there are more than one listing prototype. Let's click our shift key and see if there is another prototype that is hidden. Then we're going to check whether there is error or not. So you connect the prototype from that sign or sign it to this place here. Okay, and again we're supposed to create another alert that will enable the user to enter details, right? We're supposed to create that alert before this screen. Okay, so quickly let's go back to our design and do that. Select this together and move them to the right a bit. Okay, then we'll just duplicate this and bring it here. Okay, you can select the 4 of them to make your design clean and just distribute the horizontal spacing. So this way you have this. We can now increase the horizontal spacing to any size you want. That's fine. So here we're supposed to click on our alert. Let's say user just click on login without entering their detail, then there should be an alert here that will say enter username, enter password. Okay, so let's quickly create that. That is going to be an alert here. Let's tap here and rename it to alert. Okay, so here we'll change the user input field here to please, or let's just change it to enter a valid email / username. So okay, the same thing here, enter a valid password. Now in the alert state, we're going to change the form field that required an action, right? So we just change the stroke to our action, and similarly come here, we do the same thing, we change the stroke to our action color as well. Okay, so just go there and change it to that, and this way we are cool. All right, so let's go back to our prototype and connect the remaining one. So navigate your prototype now. This is connected. If user click on login here, they should be prompted to this screen that would tell them this. Is that okay? All right, the same thing, let's select here. Now from here, let's say the tab here, in the user tab here, it should be directed to this user tab here. It should be directed here as if they are filling their information. And once they now click on login again, it should bring another alert that will show incorrect password. Okay, so now let's go back to design panel again and duplicate this screen to this screen and bring it here. Okay, this time it is not going to show any error and it will enable them to log in. All right, so here let's just rename it to correct info. All right, so here is going to be incorrect info, password validation and all that. Okay, then here we'll go back to our prototype and remove if there's any prototype in this screen like this. So this one, select it and remove it. All right, so now we continue. Here we can also hold down your shift key to see the prototype that is connected. Okay, so here we have this connected there, this connected there. Now once they click on login again, they should be directed to this, because this time they have corrected their password, and from here they will now be able to go back to the dashboard and have the success message. So we're going to do that in the next video. So here let's connect back the back keys. I'll remove this to prototype. Let's check here, so remove it, then click here and see if there's any prototype, also remove it, and this one to check if there's any and also remove it. All right, so now from this supposed to go back to the previous screen. All right, this one too supposed to connect to the previous screen. This one too supposed to connect to the previous screen. So let's see what is there, and the last ones too also supposed to connect to the previous screen. All right, so we are done with this. Let's now preview the final results. Select your first frame, that is the first sign up frame, and click on preview. Then we see what you have. So you can see here, if I click on login, I have this alert that says enter a valid information, and if I tap here, it will show as if I've entered everything, right? And if I click here, I can say yes, save password. But once I click yes, it's telling the invalid password. Now if I click again login, and it shows this, and you can see finally we're here. That will now take us to the dashboard screen. You're welcome. We're done with this sign in screen. In the next lecture, we're going to design this sign up screen. See you there.